Welcome to the Dice Gods. My name is Hydra, and today we're going to be having a look at the resin terrain and neoprene mats from Urbanmatz. We initially sourced this terrain when the channel first started over 2 years ago. The plan was to get this in place for Star Wars Legion to do some battle reports, and at the point where those battle reports were going out, we were going to do a review of this terrain. Battle reports didn't quite happen yet, although they are scheduled for this year, so this review didn't either, so apologies to the Urbanmatz team. We got there in the end, and I hope it was worth the wait. On the table in front of me I have one of the neoprene mats from Urbanmatz. Their range all come with a bag, which is awesome. They're unbranded, waterproof, hard wearing, and have got some really good details on them. This is actually a 6x4 mat, which isn't technically suitable for Star Wars Legion, but I did that for a reason, because one of the other great features of this is a double-sided mat. So this is my Star Wars Legion mat, and it is also my Flames of War mat, being a 6x4. That's really handy. Having a mat that's double-sided is just genius, and as you can see on the screen here, the detail is fantastic. They are nice and sharp. There's no sort of soft smudgy edges. It's pretty hard wearing. This hasn't got any damage, even though it has been used quite a bit in the last couple of years. The fact that it comes with a bag is also really helpful. It's nice to have something you can roll up in and put it away and keep it safe. I will also say that even though it has been rolled up for quite some time, it hasn't actually sort of got a fold in it or dog-eared or anything like that. It still goes down nicely flat, which is what you want, but in my experience with some mats doesn't happen, so it's definitely worth mentioning with these. Now, it's also worth mentioning that these aren't the cheapest on the market. This one, as I say, 6x4 double-sided with bag is better part of €110 currently. Is it worth it? Actually, yeah. I mean, I've bought cheaper mats and they've marked, they folded, they don't come with bags. So you end up with a bit of a tatty, sad-looking thing after a couple of years, especially if you game regularly. This guy don't have that issue at all. He's still looking as fresh as he did the day that he came out of the bag for the first time, and overall I'm really impressed. Next we have the pre-painted resin terrain that you can see here. This stuff is actually, this is a collection of 3 different sets. It's the Desert Rocks half set 1, the Desert Terrain 8-piece set, and the Desert Wall 4-piece set. It is pretty much on scale perfectly for Star Wars Legion. This is how it comes, painted. I haven't done any extra work to it or any changes to it. I have to say that's very impressive. The quality of it is nice. Being all resin, it's pretty heavy. It's not the lightest thing in the world. You need to store it properly and take some care of it. So just be aware of that one. You need somewhere good to store it, and you probably need to store it wrapped as well. Otherwise I think it's going to chip. But this comes in individual bubble wrap. So I kept that, stored each piece in its own bubble wrap in a plastic box, and there's 0 damage after 2 years. So I can't really fault that at all. And this terrain is perfect for systems like Star Wars Legion because you don't need playable interiors. You have got the ability to play on some levels, so especially with the rocks, you can put things at different heights. The tops of the buildings themselves aren't necessarily playable, but there are sets that do give you access and do let you play on the tops of them. So I'm going for that classic Tatooine type look, so this was a must-have with style and feel, but they do have other ranges that let you play more broadly. As Star Wars Legion only really requires that sort of line of sight blocking terrain, this is perfect. I can't fault it in any way, shape or form. The sets that I've got is just about enough, just about perfect for a standard size 800 point game of Legion. I've never found myself wishing that I had more, and it does look fantastic on the table, as you'll see in some of the videos and images that I'm putting up. Let's take a look at the bits a little bit closer. This is one of the blockades. If you didn't get enough blockades already with your Star Wars Legion starter sets, then you can have some here, but also beautifully pre-painted. This is, as you can see, solid resin. There's some weight to this. This is not light stuff. The buildings as well. Very nicely done. Painted all the way around. Is it incredibly detailed? Is it, you know, high tier quality? No, but these are systems that you play that the tabletop is a canvas on which you play. It's a setting. It's not an integral part necessarily to the extent that some systems are to the gaming experience. So they can be a little bit less detailed, but you can spend some time on these with weathering powders and things like that. If you want to put some anti-Empire graffiti on there, if you're feeling a little bit brave, you can do that too. That'll take nicely. So look at the rocks as well. I have contemplated actually putting some little grass tufts and things on here just to give them a little bit more life, but they do look fantastic as they are. I don't really fault them. If you're looking for a sort of turnkey, get it out of the box, stick it on the table and throw dice, this actually is the best that I've seen for that. Whereas you do get like the MDF kits, which potentially, when they come pre-painted, they may be more detailed, more varied than what we're seeing here. They still need building, and they can be quite fragile in how you have to store them and all that kind of thing. They tend to chip, and way more than this resin is. I would say this is robust. It's perfectly detailed for the type of system that Star Wars Legion is. It is chunky, it is heavy. You will not want to lift this around after you've had an arm day at the gym, but it's good quality stuff. The other thing I'll say though is that it's not cheap. The rock sets that you see here, those are basically €100. The desert terrain sets are the buildings and 2 of the walls of the barricades, those are also €100, and 4 of the desert walls are 40. So all in, you're looking at the better part of €250 worth of terrain here. It's not cheap. It is good quality. It is nicely painted. It is take it out of the box and put it on the table and play. For me, that's worth it. Definitely. It's job done. I'm not a terrain painter. I'd love to be. When I force myself, I can do some nice things, but it is something that I suffer through rather than choosing to do. €250. I have a table of terrain. I'm done. It's perfect. The mat as well at €110. There are cheaper on the market, but they are cheaper. This is double-sided. I have 2 gaming systems here of mat in one, which is better for storage and in the long run better for my wallet. Also the fact that the other side is a grass effect, that means that if I wanted to play with Ewoks and things like that, if I wanted to do Endor, as we have the ability to do now in Legion, I can. I just turn the mat over. Overall, I can't really fault it. You know, yeah, not cheap, but for me, worth it. Your mileage may vary, however. Overall, would recommend this if you're looking to get a table of terrain for Star Wars Legion or a similar system. This is definitely worth it. I'm not sure it will work for Shatterpoint though. That's one thing I do need to say. Because it is just about in scale for Legion, it might be a little bit short, might be a little small for Shatterpoint, but it depends how much you feel that matters. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'd like your view. What do you think of this Urbanmatz terrain? Is this something that you can see yourself investing in? You should, but can you? Let us know in the comments below. As ever, a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, because we have noticed that about 3/4 of you haven't actually subscribed to the channel, and it's definitely something you should get on to. It helps us with the algorithm and helps us grow. So that's really, really appreciated when people do that. Also, if you're a total legend, do consider doing a YouTube membership or joining our Patreon. You get exclusive videos, you get more behind the scenes stuff. We're ramping that up. There's even more. We've got some list conversations coming up as well, so that should be interesting. But please consider joining that as well to help the channel grow even more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.